Hey you guys, welcome to Bones Collector. Guess what? In a couple days it's Valentine's Day and you're going to want to be with the one you love. And if you're doing that, maybe you want to play a board game. So what I've done is I've gotten together a bunch of my two-player only board games for Valentine's Day to make a brief little video here. I'll try to make it as quick as possible, but these are games that are in my board game library that I really love, and I love to play them, and most of them are kind of quick games because they are just two-player, but and that can be wonderful, and sometimes maybe you want something a little heavier, but I got some of those too. But let's get started. Here's the first game I want to talk about for Valentine's Day. It's a game called Morel. Have you ever been out mushroom hunting? Well, that's what this game is about. And even if you haven't, you're going to love this game. It's simply a deck of cards. It's going to be laid out. You're going to lay out 6 cards from the deck, and there's going to be different types of mushrooms. You're going to select those mushrooms, and the object of the game is a set collection deal, and you're going to cook the mushrooms, and there's various ways that you can make those selections. It's cheaper if you get the ones at the end, and if you select ones that are further down the line, they're going to cost you some foraging sticks, which you can get by trading sets of mushrooms. So there's a little bit of strategy to this game. It's a nice light game for 2 players. It's an excellent time, a lot of fun, and the artwork on the cards is simply beautiful. There's little frying pans in here and foraging sticks that were carved by the board game designer Brent Povis, and it's just an excellent little 2-player game. Okay, the next game I want to talk about is a little card game called Jaipur. And Jaipur, you're going to be trying to be richer than the next Maharaja or whatever. But again, a deck of cards you're going to use, and you're going to have some camel cards and a market. And when you take your turn, you're going to select a card from the market, and you do this in various ways. You can take 1 card, or if you're going to take more than 1 card, you're going to have to replace it with some camels. So sometimes when those camel cards are out there, you may say, I'm going to need those camels for later on, so I'll take the 3 camel cards and leave the goods this time. So it's a little bit of strategy, and it's the best 2 out of 3 rounds. When you get those set collections, I think there's diamonds and gold, silk, and when you get those cards that are all in that set, then you trade those in for victory point tokens, and as they're more expensive, if you get there first, as they go down the stack, they get less expensive. So a very good card game, very quick, a lot of fun, and I love this game every time I play it. And this is the type of game you get out when you don't want to spend an hour. We can play this game 2 out of 3 rounds in 20 minutes, Lori and I. So a lot of fun, and by GameWorks, I've had it for quite a few years. I really enjoy it. Jaipur. Check this game out. Capo to Copy. And did you ever want to be a mob boss? Because that's what this game is about. You're going in the center of the board, or center of the table, you're going to lay out some tiles, and there's different rooms in different areas. It's an area control game, and has a lot of dice and a push your luck element. There's some bribery, and you can extort the mayor for points. So that's pretty cool. And guess what? There's even a hitman in here. Man, this game's pretty cool. So that's Capo to Copy. It's a push your luck, wonderful, quick little 2-player game. You'll enjoy it. It's by Dr. Steve Finn, and he did a couple of other games I have to mention, Biblios and Biblios Dice. Those games are also incredible, and this one is just as good, Capo to Copy. Here's a little game that almost everybody's probably heard of, and that's Codenames Duet. Codenames is one that I think it's mass marketed all over the country in Target stores, and very popular. This one is for 2 players, and in this game there's going to be a grid of cards laid out on the table, and you have another card off to the side, and it's going to have a pattern on it, and what you want to do is give your it's a cooperative game, by the way. It's not competitive. You're working with the other player to try to identify the spies that are given on that card in a certain pattern. So the cards will have words on them, and you have to think, what word could I say that would make that person pick up the cards I want them to pick up? And that's how the game works. And if you say a word and something triggers in their mind, they say, I think I think that they're trying to tell me this card, this card, and this card. I pick those 3 cards up, and that's how you play Codenames Duet. It's a lot of fun, and I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but I had seen regular Codenames and really didn't appeal to me, but when it came out in a 2-player cooperative version, I had to get it, and I'm glad I did. I really enjoy playing it with my wife Lori, so I think you will too. Codenames Duet. Here's a game that I played last year at Dice Tower Con, and I absolutely love it. It's called Raptor, and let's see, who is the board game designer? Oh, Bruno Cathala and Bruno Feduti, so 2 very good board game designers. And in this game, again, it's a 2-player game. You're either the dinosaurs or you're the scientists. The scientists are trying to capture the dinosaurs to do experimental work on them. That's not very good. And then if you're the dinosaurs, you're trying to escape. Each player will have a hand of 9 cards. You'll draw 3 of those cards and choose which one of those 3 cards to play, and it tells you how you can move around the board. And you have to stay away from those scientists because you don't want to get captured. And you want the mama dinosaurs trying to protect the baby dinosaurs and get them off the board so that they can escape. Oh my gosh, it's very, very good. It's a great theme, and it's very tense, and I really, really like this game, Raptor. And who doesn't like dinosaurs anyways? This little card game is called Rival Realms, and Rival Realms is a card version of a game called Fantastica, and Fantastica was a very popular board game. I've never played it. I picked this little gem up and brought it home and played it, and I really, really fell in love with it. Your rival magicians moving around. You each have a realm of cards in front of you. It is competitive, so you're going against the player across the table, and you have a mirror. Each of you have a mirror image of your realm that you're trying to build up. You're going to have cards that you want to play out of your hand, and those cards have to be played a certain way. They have to be played so that they get larger in number as they go to the right. So if you play a card that's a number 6, the next card you play has to be bigger than that. If you play a 17, the next card to the right has to be bigger than that. And so that really puts a little tense play rule in the way you use this game. And then you're going to have an avatar that you move around on those cards you lay down, and you can go adventuring, and I think there are event cards that throw you a curveball in the game, and quests that you can win by doing certain things the way you play your cards. So Rival Realms, it's a really, really good game, and it takes a lot of thought to play this game. So even though the box is very tiny, it's one it'll make you think. So Rival Realms, man, pick that up. It's rich, very nice, unbelievable. Eagle Griffin Games, just one of those times when you have a small box game that really fills a great need that you have for intellectual workouts. So Rival Realms, it's a great game. Check it out, man. What else do I have here? Let's see. Okay, Targi. Targi's been out for a few years, and it was I think it was printed in German, but I don't know if it was ever printed in English. It may have been, but you couldn't find it anywhere. It was very scarce. And then they did a reprint in 2018. I was able to get my hands on it. And again, this is a game, little card game. And a Targi is a male member of a desert tribe in the Sahara Desert. And you're going to have little Targi figurines, and you're going to have a 5x5 grid of cards. Each card has actions that you can take on it, and you're going to place one of your Targis on one side and one of your Targis on another edge of the grid, and you can take the action that your Targi's sitting on plus the intersecting card of your 2 Targis. So that's pretty interesting, and it's very, very competitive, and money is very tight in this game, so you got to really pay attention to that. But man, I tell you, this game will really put you through your paces also. It's a very, very good game, a lot of thinking. Targi. This is another game that was difficult to find for quite a while, Akrotiri. It was published by Z-Man Games. And in Akrotiri, you're going to be, it's a pick up and deliver game. You have little wooden boats that you put resources in, travel from island to island, and you have to get those resources back to certain places in order to get paid for them, and it's tile laying, so it's got, it's going to have a modular board, because as you're going through the game, you're laying down new tiles to give you more spaces to move to. So this game is very rich. The only thing, I think, when Lori and I played it, we had a little bit of trouble keeping track of our actions, so you might want to get a little disc or a marker to put on the actions that you've taken, so you don't lose track of what you're doing in this game, because it's very, very complex, really, for a little box. There's a lot going on in this game, too much to talk about in this little video. Take my word for it, Akrotiri is an amazing game. 2-player only. Enjoy it. This game is called Hanamakoji, and I have been pounding and pounding in my videos about this little card game. And here's what I like about this game: it's perfect. It's a perfect game, and I can't say that about too many games, whether it be a big box board game or a little card game. It doesn't really matter. But man, Hanamakoji is one of those games that just everything about it is excellent. It has when you start out the game, 7 geisha cards. They're oversized cards, and a token in the middle of them, and you simply want to get that token on your side of the geisha, and that means that geisha favors you, and that's the goal of the game. And you do that by using a deck of cards. There's 26 cards in the deck, and each player is going to have 4 action tiles sitting in front of them. The action tiles have a specified action that you can take for them, and your turn is simply going to consist of drawing a card off the top of the deck and taking an action. Drawing a card, taking an action, and when you've used up your 4 action, the round is over, and the best 2 out of 3 rounds wins. The rounds are, those action tiles are specific, and here's what some of them are. One of them, you're going to put a card hidden underneath the 1 action tile, and that card you're going to play at the end of the round. So you're going to save that card if it's a card you really want. Another action tile, I think, is to trash 2 cards out of your hand. So you're going to throw 2 cards away, and you have to do that. I mean, you have to decide, what 2 cards do I want to throw away? And then another one of the action tiles is to lay down 2 sets of 2 cards, 2 pairs, and your opponent gets to choose one of those sets of cards. You have to give away those cards, and that's where the hard thinking comes in. I mean, you'll sit there and say, I don't want to give any of these cards away, but you have to. It's one of your actions. And the 4th action tile, I think, is laying down, what the heck is it? Shoot, I can't remember. There's 4 action tiles. I can't remember at this point. But anyways, it's a great game. You have to do one of those actions. There's 4 of them, and it takes a lot of thought, and even at the beginning of the game, you're going to take one of those 26 cards out of the deck and put it in the box, so nobody knows what's missing out of the deck. I mean, this game is rich, it's fast, and you can sit down and play a game of this in about 15 minutes. That's 2 out of 3 rounds, and when I sit down and play this game, I'll play 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row. Just keep playing. It is so much fun. Hanamakoji, check it out, pick it up. I think it costs like 12 bucks, 12, 13, 14 dollars. It's so worth it. Pick this up and play it with your partner, you'll love it. Fields of Arla. This is a 2-player only game also. Look at the size of this monster box. This game is by Uwe Rosenberg, one of the best board game designers in the world. And if you watch my top 5 board game designers, Uwe is on that list, and I talk about this game a little bit. In this game, it's 18th century England, or Germany, 18th century Germany, and you have a family of workers, each one represented by a disc. So you're going to have, I think, 4 discs, and on the board you're going to move those discs to action spaces and decide what you want to do. Gather resources, or get a vehicle of some sort, trade resources, build things, and you have to make those decisions as you go along, and you get nothing to start the game. So from the very beginning, it's a blank slate, and I just love that. Uwe did that in this game. He did the same thing in Caverna. You just get to choose from the beginning which direction you want to go in. There's no cards or goals or anything that they give you to help you along your path. You get to decide everything that happens to you, and every action has a reaction. So the game is beautiful. I think it's set in seasons. You take summer actions, and then after both players have done that, then you do winter actions. And I tell you, It's quite a large spread on the table when you get it set up. But man, it's a lot of fun and easy to understand, and an excellent simulation by Uwe Rosenberg, and that's the best two-player game in the world right now, in my opinion. Fields of Arle. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I love you all. Have a great day.